Any other questions? Ken?
I'd just like to make a comment. Have you ever been to Western Washington, like Olympia, Tacoma area?
Yes.
You know, there's millions of lodgepole pine trees out there.
Yes.
I lived out there for 5.5 years, and about 8 months out of the year, there'll be storms come in off the Pacific, packing 30, 40 mile an hour winds about every 5 to 14 days or so. And then I came to West Branch, and the power goes out here more than it ever went out there with millions of those pine trees. And I just look around, I don't see any pine trees, and maybe I don't get it, but I just don't understand why the power goes out here so much more than it did out there.
We have more squirrels.
Actually, yeah. Everything from squirrels to your deciduous trees that grow alongside. If you look out right here, you've got trees going right up into your power lines. They'll take
You got it
down.
out there too. I mean,
Yeah.
you go down the highway and there's power lines and there's trees.
Yeah, I'd have to check how they're set up, why you never experienced an outage, where, I'd have to know where you were fed with, what you were fed with, the whole arrangement behind it.
That's my only, I appreciate you coming tonight, but I would come, I come home from work, my clocks are blinking and power went out again today.
Why?
Why?
I think general consensus is, I understand rate increases. I understand the need for rate increases. I understand how they happen. But I don't understand this one being as high as it is on, at this time. I know I've heard the argument that this is, they didn't pick this time, but that's not a good timing for one. Well, it isn't good timing for the residential customer, any customer as far as that goes. We're experiencing growing pains in our industrial park also. I just think that this, basically 18% is what I see across the board for residential customers, and then 12 to 16 down below for industrial customers. I just think that's too much. I think if half that or less, I can't raise my rates that much this year. I wouldn't have any if I did that. I'd love to be able to raise my rates that much. That would make me feel better too. I paid high fuel prices last year for my fuel that I ran on. It's all relative, your business and mine, except for you have $600 million of capital that you can't get a return on. I don't have that. I'd love to have that $600 million capital to worry about not getting a return on. I think I call myself lucky to have that. I'm a little bit worried also about the $179 million a year increase if it all goes through, and paying about everything that you've said that you may invest in the next 4 years will be paid back in 4 years. That's great. I'd like to be able to go out and buy 6 bulldozers and raise my rates and pay for them in 4 years. I can't do that. But I'm not going to be heard well enough here. I guess I hope the Iowa Utilities Board can look at it from my standpoint too.
What you were talking about, if this one goes through, then in 2010 there would be another one. What percentage are we looking at there?
We don't know yet. It's too early. We'll have to see, the outcomes of these decisions on the Duane Arnold Energy Center and the outcome of the ITC sale and how they treat those or how they want to treat them. So we don't know yet, but there's $400 million that was invested into that wind farm that is going to be an issue that we've got to take before the utility board. So, that's just the facts. We have 39% of the power that we buy for our customers comes off of the grid, and part of that will be replaced with the wind farm.
Do you know what percentage? You won't know till it's up and going, probably, or
Well, and you get, part of it is when the wind is blowing, it's generating electricity and offsetting kilowatt hours. But there are times when it's not blowing and you have to purchase power off the grid to replace that, or you generate with our natural gas fired plant up by Mason City. It's Emory up there. So wind does cost more.
as an
and it's-
additional investment?
As an investment, totally. Right now, if you wanted to market that you're green, your company is green, or your school system is green, you can buy and set aside, we can allocate that wind generation to your business or your school system or something like that, but it's at a 2 cent per kilowatt hour premium. So what that tells me is that to put in the wind generation is more expensive right now. But again, you know, it's not over until it's over. There are carbon taxes that are being looked at a federal level to be imposed on coal-fired plants across the, what we used to call the Rust Belt, from Ohio to Minnesota, and this whole area has a significant amount of coal-fired generation in it. And I think the Wall Street Journal did a study here a couple weeks ago and determined by state what would have the most impact, what states would have the most impact if they imposed a carbon tax on the electric utility industry, and I think Iowa was number 2. So that may have, that will have some impact, and on companies that have more, even more coal generation than we have, will have more impact on them. So